The box office projections for Good Friday are out, and they are, pun intended, good for everybody. The Curse of La Lorna came in at number 1. It has deposed Shazam as the number 1 box office film with $11.8 million. Now, it got about $2.7 million of advanced screening money, so it's actually $9.1 million. And there's a fair chance it can probably bring in another $9.1 million or more on the Saturday. So it'll probably be over $20 million for the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday title. Shazam got $6,155,000. Okay, a little bit up from the $5.7 million I said it will probably get. And a fairly good result all in all, 141% increase from the Thursday. Okay, but you can see here, pretty much every film got a very nice boost for the Good Friday holiday. I did mention a few videos back that it was possible that Captain Marvel might earn more money than Wonder Woman the first time in 20, 30 days, whatever it's been. Well, it's on day 43 now, so yeah, about 25, 28 days. So I think Wonder Woman got a $2-point-something million. I didn't actually look it up, but Captain Marvel, I believe, has earned more money than Wonder Woman the first time in a long time. It might earn more money on the Saturday than Wonder Woman, but then things will return back to normal after that. But as with all these films here, nice little boost for Captain Marvel for the holiday. And when we look at our chart again with Ant-Man, X-Men, X-Men First Class, The Wolverine, and Shazam, we can now clearly see Shazam has finally moved off The Wolverine. It tracked it very, very, very closely for last week, and then it has moved above The Wolverine. If we look at just Shazam and Wolverine by themselves, it's maybe even more clear. So that should really be it. The Wolverine will be done now. Shazam will out-earn it on Saturday, on Sunday. It'll out-earn on Monday. It'll have a fairly good lead at that stage. And you can see the arc that the Wolverine took. It basically died after that. And Shazam will do a very similar arc, but it'll be above it. So Shazam will certainly earn more money in the US domestic market than the Wolverine. When we look at the raw numbers side by side, we have Shazam here on the left, Wolverine on the right. Shazam's total gross right now is projected to be $110,156,951. And for the Wolverine, it was $106,420,313. And as I said about a week ago, Shazam will overtake the Wolverine on Good Friday. But as you can see here, and as I mentioned in my last video, it looks like it, at least unofficially, overtook the Wolverine the day before. It's about $15,000 ahead on the Thursday, but it is definitely ahead now. Okay, so it's several $million ahead, and with the $6.155 million versus only $2.4 million for the Wolverine. Obviously, it wasn't a holiday for the equivalent day, and the Wolverine earned a lot less money than Shazam. If we look at X-Men First Class and Shazam on the chart by themselves, you can see the sharp increase up Shazam has. It is still behind X-Men First Class, but it has quickly caught up with the bit of a deficit that it had there. And if we look at the raw numbers for Shazam and X-Men First Class, we can again see with Shazam on the left and X-Men First Class on the right, that Shazam has $110,156,951, and on June the 17th, the equivalent date for X-Men First Class, it had $111,826,840. So we've got about $1.7 million between them, let's just say $2 million. And again, the $6.1 million Shazam is reported to have earned is far better than the $3.4 million that X-Men First Class got. On the Saturday, X-Men First Class got $4.4 million, and for Shazam, I expect it'll get somewhere around the Friday total. Okay, still a fair bit of wiggle room, as I said earlier in other videos. $6.3 million is what it got on the previous Friday. We can see there on April 12th, $6.3 million. And somewhere around that is what it would get on this Friday here. I said if we take 10% off just to play it safe, it'd be $5.7 million. But it could have went the other way as well. So somewhere between $5.7 and $7 million was really my very wide range what I would expect it would actually fall in. And it obviously did, but that was a very wide margin. And the same thing goes for Saturday. I would say, again, it's probably going to be between $5.7 and $7 million. But I'll just put in the same figure we have here. So $6.155 million. That's roughly what I think that Shazam will earn on the Saturday. That's pretty much in line with what happens at Easter time. Okay, so around Easter time, generally what you earned the Friday before, you get that on Good Friday, and generally what you got on Good Friday, it's generally what you'll get on the Saturday. But again, the numbers are inflated a lot from the normal numbers, so there's a lot of variance between it. So it could be give or take millions, basically. But no matter what, really, I think it has to earn more than what X-Men First Class got. So X-Men First Class got $4.4 million on Saturday. I really can't see any reason why Shazam would drop down under that after getting $6.1 million. On the Sunday, again, with these sort of inflated numbers, it's not that easy to predict exactly what will happen, but we're probably looking at something like a 30 to 35% reduction from the Saturday with what we've had on the two previous Sundays. Okay, we had a 30 and a 35% drop. So it's probably a 35% drop is a safe place to go. So that'll take us to around about $4 million for the Sunday. So $6.1 million for the Friday, $6.1 million for the Saturday, $4 million for the Sunday. That takes us to a bit over $16 million. So before Friday's numbers are out, I estimated it'll probably get somewhere around about $15 million. Okay, so I'll bump that up a little bit now. I'll get over 16, I think, at this stage. So before I was saying sort of 15 or less, now I think more like 16 or a little bit more than $16 million. Or to put it into the context here with these raw numbers, about $10 million, 10.1 with these numbers, but that's more specific than, I think my numbers will be out by more than $100,000, but about $10 million over what it is right now. So it's on $110 million. I think it'll be somewhere around $120 million. And if we look down at the June the 19th, the equivalent Sunday, we can see X-Men First Class is also on $120 million. So I did predict that I thought it would be a couple of million short of that, but it's improved a little bit over what I thought, and so it's pretty much bang on. So it may be a case that on Sunday it is in fact in front of X-Men First Class, but it still could be behind it again. There's still a lot of wiggle room here between the numbers, so it could still be a couple of $1 million off. But right now, I think it'll be pretty close. So $120 million for each is pretty much what I think the numbers will be. Well, obviously, X-Men First Class will have $120 million. We know what it has. But $120 million for Shazam, I think that's pretty much best case, or easiest predicting case right now. The original X-Men movie from 2000 is my next target on my little chart after X-Men First Class. And it had a total of $122.9 million at the end of its equivalent Sunday. So it's got not quite, but somewhere around $3 million more, about $2.5 million more than what X-Men First Class has. And so I think it'll be around about $2 to $3 million ahead of where Shazam is. Now, that sounds good on the surface because obviously Shazam is gaining on it. But there really isn't much time left in Shazam's box office run. Okay, it's had 3 weekends. That's the vast majority of the money that it's going to actually earn. It may end up with, as I'm saying here, $120 million at the end of the weekend, which is better than I thought it was headed to when I thought that the Green Lantern was going to actually beat it. So the Green Lantern won't beat it. But the Monday coming up, it'll probably earn more money than what X-Men got. X-Men got $1.7 million. It's a holiday, again, for Shazam, so it'll probably get more than that. The Tuesday, it may get a nice boost on the Tuesday and earn more than the $1.8 million that X-Men got. After that, X-Men might out-earn it every day. Okay, so I'm not really sure what will happen with Endgame. Okay, Endgame's coming out on Thursday. It'll probably kill off the day before as well. People probably won't rock up on Wednesday to see movies, but if they do, there's not going to be much at the box office. But the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for Shazam, it could be really, really dead. It could be kind of normal. Who knows? But even if it's normal numbers, that may still be less than what X-Men got. So from here on out, it's very difficult until Endgame opens up on the weekend to see if Shazam will actually earn more money than X-Men. And I guess by that time, who'll actually care? So Endgame will be out. I'll be talking about Endgame. I might remember to look at Shazam. But I'd say right now, the odds are that Shazam will probably earn less than X-Men earned in non-inflation adjusted terms, which was $157 million, which it had no chance of doing that after the first Sunday. So it has had a fairly good recovery after a horrible first Sunday. X-Men First Class got a total of $146.4 million, and I think at this stage it looks like it should beat that. So somewhere between 146 and 157 is probably where Shazam's going to end up. Okay, but it's still possible it won't beat X-Men First Class if Endgame just eats up all of the screens and there's just no sessions left for Shazam. So it is possible Shazam could have a very severe cutoff, but it has already earned, I'm saying $120 million at the end of Sunday. So it's only another $26 million perhaps that it'll earn anyway in the upcoming 2 months or whatever it is that its actual run goes for. So that's all the kind of money that we're actually talking about. But at this stage, I think it'll get somewhere between X-Men First Class and X-Men Money without inflation on either of those, which is much better than I thought it was going to do a few weeks ago. But it's also a lot worse than I thought it was going to do after the Friday and the Saturday. I thought it was going to beat Ant-Man, and it's definitely not going to get over $180 million, which is what Ant-Man got in the US domestic market. And on the foreign front, we have an estimated total of $178 million right now in foreign box office money for Shazam. And if we add the $110 million from domestic to that, we have an estimated $288 million right now. So the $178 million, that'll be a sort of lag amount. It won't be exactly up to date, so it's always difficult to know what to do with that exactly. But if we say it might get another $25 million in domestic money, it'll probably get less than $50 million, less than double that, in foreign money the way it's going right now. But the foreign money there is not up to date. So that 178 isn't really the figure for Saturday, if you like. So if we just say $50 million more for foreign, $25 million more for domestic, it's $75 million in total. If we add the $75 million to the $288, we get a little bit over $360 million. So let's just say something like $360 million. So right now, I think that's probably a good ballpark figure that it'll probably earn, somewhere around $360 million for its total worldwide gross. Now, the foreign money may keep coming in, as the weeks roll on, but the fact is they've also got Endgame in every single country except for Japan, I think, or every major country coming up this week anyway. So this week it won't just be the US domestic box office that's got Shazam going, everyone does. So the same thing that happens to the Shazam domestic total should probably happen to the Shazam foreign total. So there's no reason thinking there's going to be some extra foreign money coming in. And Shazam also, or Warner Brothers also lined up all the countries quite nicely for the Shazam opening. So most countries opened on the same day as the US domestic open, which means the Shazam actual openings for worldwide figures are all of the countries in that. So it's not a case of it's got a few more weeks until it opens up in different markets and there's more money coming in, which is what happened with Aquaman. Aquaman actually only opened in China and the US market, and it didn't open in any other country at the same weekend. So as Aquaman rolled on, week to week, more and more countries started using it, and that's why its foreign money seemed to have extra legs. It had good legs in foreign money, but Aquaman was actually getting countries involved at later stages, and so they'd get a few $1 million boost as that had an opening weekend, and another like $10 million boost here or there, or $5 million. So anyway, that's what happened with Aquaman. It didn't line everything up, and if you look at the official records, so to speak, Aquaman is poorer on the list because its opening weekend doesn't count all the countries, basically, whereas Shazam, exact opposite. Shazam's opening weekend numbers are overinflated compared to most of the films because it actually had all of them lined up. But anyway, it's basically bad news for Shazam, if you like. This money is more accurate or up to date than what the money for Aquaman was at this point in time. So once again, I think it'll get somewhere a bit over $16 million for this weekend. It should be somewhere around about the total that X-Men First Class has at the end of the Sunday, and it should move ahead of X-Men First Class on the Monday. But after that, Endgame is in charge of what's going on, and who knows what will happen with Shazam when Endgame is out. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.